Come in. Oh, Jared. What do you think, Jared? A bit too frivolous for the wife of a judge?
Well, now, I'd say that depends on the judge, or even more on his wife. I think Irene would love it.
Good, good.
Speaking of Christmas presents, what do you say we collaborate on one for Maybelle Williams?
I hope you're not asking me to set bail.
Well, she's only a kid, you know.
My answer is no.
Well, why not? There's no proof as yet that she was actually Billy Joe's accomplice.
You're right. But it would be the height of folly to let her out of that cell for even 1 minute. She's a wildcat, Jared, right out of the brush. And I trust her just about as much. And besides, with Billy Joe Gaines on the loose, it's asking for trouble.
All right. All right, suppose you release her in my custody.
What?
I'll guarantee that she won't run away and that she won't jeopardize public safety.
You can't make that guarantee.
Possession of stolen goods is a bailable offense, Your Honor, and that's all she's been charged with.
She's not worth it, Jared.
Well, now, suppose we just wait and see about that.
All right. I'll release her in your custody. But how much you want to bet you'll regret it?
I'll bet you a box of your favorite cigars.
It's a bet, Counselor.
Suppose you're waiting for me to thank you.
Not necessarily. I'm just doing my job.
Taking me home to spend Christmas with your family? Or is that just what you told the judge? Maybe you got some other plans for us, Counselor. Like maybe you got some plans that you and your client might get together real cozy-like and discuss the case.
You know, I was going to buy some clothes for you. I imagine you're just about the same size as my little sister, Audra.
Now, you look, Counselor. I never asked you to get me out of jail or to buy me anything, and I especially never asked you to be my lawyer.
Well, that little pleasure was arranged for me by the Women's League.
Then you were forced to defend me.
Now, look, whether you like it or not, the law says you've got to have a lawyer. They asked me, and I accepted. It's that simple.
Those old biddies at the League probably asked you to take me home with you, too. This wasn't your idea, was it?
Maybelle, it's Christmas. Now, no matter how the arrangements were made, you're going to spend the holiday with my family. What do you say we make it a pleasant one?
We can't, Counselor. Because nothing's good for me, nothing. Unless I'm with my Billy Joe.
Maybelle, what are you... Now, stop it! Now, listen to me. You try that just one more time.
Maybe there won't be a next time, Counselor.
Uh-huh. Let's go.
Home or back to prison.
You've got a real itch for jail, haven't you? Well, you keep this up and you'll spend a long, long time there. Now, maybe I can help you and maybe I can't. But if you escape, the Supreme Court won't be able to keep you out of San Quentin, understand? Now, let's go.
All right, Counselor, but you may not have the pleasure of my company for very long. Billy Joe's on the loose, and he's coming for me, law on his trail or not. And when I'm with Billy Joe, nobody's gonna catch me!
Oh, it's beautiful.
It is, kind of, isn't it?
Just beautiful.
Went all the way to Bridge Peak for that spruce.
Fought snow and blizzard.
And wolves.
And frozen feet.
Oh, you boys are magnificent.
It's kind of scrawny, isn't it?
Scrawny!
Family, this is Maybelle Williams. Maybelle, this is my mother, my sister Audra.
Nice meeting you, Miss Williams.
And those two questionable gentlemen over there struggling with that piece of lumber are my brothers, Heath and Nick.
Hello. Maybelle Williams.
That's right. The Maybelle Williams.
As Maybelle's attorney, I was able to arrange for her to spend the Christmas holidays with us.
Of course.
I'm so glad that Jared could arrange that you wouldn't have to spend Christmas and that you could visit with us.
I'll bet you are.
What's your boyfriend, Billy Joe Gaines, doing for this Christmas, Miss Maybelle?
Nick,
It's all right. Billy Joe has things to do and places to go, Mr. Barkley.
Oh, I'm sure he has. Like what bank is he robbing this week?
I think that'll be enough, Nick.
perhaps you'd like to wash up.
Maybe I better. It was a dusty ride out here.
I'll show you to your room.
Jared, you should have given us some warning.
Or at least check with us to see what we'd say about you bringing home Billy Joe Gaines's girlfriend as a house guest. Or maybe I should freshen your memory on Billy Joe Gaines.
Nick, lower your voice.
This will be your room while you're here. I'm sure you'll find everything that you want. There's water in the pitcher for you to wash with.
Now, ain't that fancy? A washing up place right in the bedroom.
He wouldn't agree unless I told him she'd be in my custody.
In other words, the judge doesn't trust her any more than I do. Jared, I want her out of here.
Nick, I can hear you without yelling.
When you're ready, I'll show you around if you'd like.
Yes, sirree. It gives you a real warm feeling right in the pit of your stomach. How about you? You as glad to have me around as the rest of your family?
I can't answer that yet.
And I thought it'd be love at first sight. All the way around.
What you're saying is she admits to being Billy Joe Gaines's girlfriend, a vicious, outright killer.
Nick, we're not concerned at the moment with Billy Joe.
Well, I am. And I have been concerned about Billy Joe for an awful long time.
Nick, we know we all feel the same.
Heath, let me tell you about Billy Joe Gaines. This happened before you got here about a year ago, just Christmas last year. Billy Joe Gaines and his boys decided they would hold up the Stockton bank. The teller, Dave Ross, a very good friend of mine, was just a little bit too slow about shoving the money into the satchel. Well, Billy Joe thought he was stalling. So he pumped 2 bullets into Dave Ross's stomach. And as Dave Ross lay there on the floor bleeding to death, Billy Joe Gaines and his gang helped themselves to $10,000. It was Billy Joe's Christmas gift to Stockton that year. Jared, it's not easy to admit to mistakes. I know that. It's not easy for me. Why don't you take her back?
Jared, maybe he's right.
Heath, what do you think?
I'm not sure. Gaines didn't gun down a friend of mine. But if he had, I might feel different. I vote for whatever Nick wants.
Jared, what'd you bring her here for?
Well, I suppose I could tell you I did it because I thought I could do my job better if she were here. And
it was Christmas.
yes, I suppose that's partly the reason. You know, it was a funny thing. I went to visit her in her jail cell this morning to discuss her case, find some basis to defend her. And all the time I was talking to her, she just kind of stared at me, defiantly. And it made me angry, because I felt guilty. Guilty that it was Christmas, that I was coming home to my family and leaving her there all alone in that cold cell. And the guiltier I felt, the angrier I got. So I left. And I told myself, after all, it wasn't any of my business. I didn't put her in there. I was merely trying to help her. And I told myself that all the way over to Judge Parker's office. where I promptly asked him to release her into my custody. Now, Nick, if you really want me to take her back to that cell, I'll do it. But somehow I don't think you do.
All right, Jared. All right. And I hope we all have a Merry Christmas.
Welcome. Does that include everybody? It sure includes us. Why, there isn't a bounty hunter or lawman in this state that wouldn't more than welcome us.
Yeah, well, the way I figure it, we're about 100 miles from Stockton. We travel about 35 miles a day. We'll make it by Christmas.
The thing is, that pace isn't going to give you time to get her a present.
You're wrong, friend. Me. I'm going to be her Christmas present this year.
Oh.
I think these should fit you.
Thanks.
Good night, Maybelle.
Good night.
Audra.
Audra. Fancy name. Fancy bedroom. Everything fancy.
Maybelle?
I was kind of hungry, so I just thought I'd fetch me something to eat.
Well, you're a little off course. Kitchen's over there.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, I can find it myself now. You can go back to whatever you were doing.
Well, I'm kind of hungry myself. Let's see what's in the icebox. Well, first we'll put a little light on the subject. There we are. And then we'll see what we've got. Ah, beef, nice cold milk, freshly churned butter. There's some napkins and silverware and stuff like that in the cupboard over there. I'll get the bread. I think. Ah, there we are.
Would your mom mind if we use these plates?
I don't think so.
I was just kind of planning on grabbing a chunk of bread. This is kind of like a party.
Well, I'm glad you think so.
All right, Counselor. You got something on your mind?
You're absolutely right. I want to discuss your case with you.
What about my case? I told you everything there was.
Well, let's see. You said that you didn't know the stuff that Billy Joe left in your room was stolen. Is that right?
That's right.
$5,000 in large bills and a sack of gold dust.
Look, whose side are you on?
I'm just asking questions a district attorney is bound to ask. And we better have some pretty good answers.
I told you what happened. I woke up one morning and I found that stuff in my room.
And you haven't the faintest idea how it got there, is that right?
Sure is mighty good beef, but don't anyone around here believe in seasoning? How about you, counselor? Spice it up a little? Or you got enough spice in your life?
You can trust me, Maybelle. As a matter of fact, you have to trust me.
You're not getting paid for defending me, are you?
No.
Well, then how do I know that you won't just go running to the judge, tell him that I admit I'm guilty, and save everyone the trouble of a trial?
I might just do that. If I decide that your best chance is to be thrown on the mercy of the court.
The mercy of the court?
You're still a minor, you know.
Am I, Mr. Barkley?
Legally, yes.
Now, you look here. I don't want mercy. Not from the court, not from you, not from anybody. Thanks for the sandwich.
Good night, Maybelle. 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 That room where you were arrested, was that your room or Billy Joe's?
It was our room. Well, he paid for it, if that's what you mean.
That's exactly what I mean. So if he paid for it, legally it would be his room. And whatever he brought into it would be his too. Stolen property in your possession? Not by a long...
Your sister forgot to leave me any slippers, so I just... I always dress for a midnight snack, Mr. Barkley.
Good night, Maybelle.
Wait. I won't do it again. I don't expect you to believe that, but honestly, I won't do it again.
I said good night.
Oh, good morning. Sleep well?
Just fine.
Oh, see you at breakfast. Maybe we'll go riding later.
I won't be here later.
Morning, Maybelle.
Do I have time for a cup of coffee?
That depends on you.
That's just a lousy cup of coffee. You gonna make a big deal out of that?
I'm not talking about a cup of coffee. I'm talking about whether you go back to jail or not.
Well, lawyer, I'm packed and ready.
Last night you promised you wouldn't try it again. Did you mean that?
Either you believe me or you don't. I'm not about to start begging you.
You have Silas fix you some of the best scrambled eggs west of the Mississippi.
Some more coffee?
No, thanks, Silas. See you at dinner.
All right, sir.
Man says you make the best scrambled eggs west of the Mississippi.
Is that what the man says?
Can I trust him?
If you can't trust him, then you can't trust nobody.
55 miles.
Say, Billy Joe, I've been meaning to ask. What makes this Maybelle so special?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
Well, for one thing, she doesn't ask a lot of stupid questions.
You tell him, Billy.
Your brothers always work this hard?
Work hard and play hard.
Lots of girlfriends and stuff like that, huh? Is Jared engaged to be married or anything like that?
No, not that I know of. But then Jared's kind of mysterious about his women friends. I remember last summer he brought home a girl. I thought for sure she'd be the one. Oh, she was bright and beautiful.
Why don't we find something else to talk about? I'm getting a little tired of your brother and his girlfriends. What's he trying to do?
And that horse is wild. That's why we keep him out here by himself. He's trying to saddle break him.
There's only one way to saddle break a horse. You ride it. Hey, cowboy. You afraid to mount that animal? Were you quitting so soon, cowboy? Billy Joe'd break 3 of those in half a morning just for the fun of it.
Well, he does things his way, and I do things mine. And both of you stay away from that pony, unless you think a broken back's funny.
If you want, I'll show you the rest of the ranch. What are you doing?
Come on, fella. Easy now. Come on.
Maybelle, don't be foolish.
Easy now.
Maybelle!
How is she?
Nothing to worry about. Some bad bruises, but no concussion. Your mother's staying with her until she falls asleep. You can see her in the morning.
Fine. Thank you very much for coming by, Doc. Merry Christmas to you.
Same to you, Nick.
Speaking of Christmas, why don't you drop by a little later for a little Christmas cheer, huh?
Thank you, I will.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You know what we're having for dinner? I'm hungry as a bear.
Before we start discussing dinner, Maybelle, I think you better do a little talking. Well?
Well?
What happened?
Well, you're not going to believe me anyway, so why don't you just go ask your sister?
Heath warned both of you girls not to get near that horse.
Audra should have listened. I don't have to.
Silas just told me. How's Audra? Audra, she'll be fine.
You were with her when it happened.
Your brother and I were just discussing that, Counselor. Seems he thinks it was all my fault.
Was it?
Well, now, it depends on how you look at it. The way he sees it, you get a strong rope and you find the nearest tree.
Was it your fault, Maybelle? Yes or no?
Then again, you might just say that he's a hostile witness. Right, Counselor?
You get your things together.
I'm one step ahead of you, Counselor. I never unpacked.
What actually happened, Nick?
All I know is you could talk to her from now till next Christmas and never get a straight answer.
Does anyone know what she actually did?
What difference does it make? All we have to know is Audra was stomped by that horse, and that girl couldn't care less.
You may be right. Let's go.
Mr. Barkley.
Maybelle, let's go. Now you get in there and sit down. I'll get the horse.
You mind if I take a drink of water?
Go ahead. Here, allow me. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been the least bit interested in how I plan to defend you?
I'll find out soon enough. You want some? It's good. Real cold.
I was gonna argue that you should be given a second chance because way underneath, you're really a decent little lady that you'd never intentionally hurt anybody.
Ain't that nice?
You're real tough, aren't you? Just too tough to admit that you might do something nice. Tell me something. Why didn't you run away when you knew you were in trouble?
Maybe because I didn't think of it. Too bad you weren't around to advise me, Counselor.
Or was it because you just couldn't leave Audra lying there that you were more concerned about her than you were about yourself?
Are you gonna take me back to jail, or are we gonna just stand here talking?
You know something, little lady? You're right. It doesn't do any good to talk to you. What you really need is to be turned over my knee and your backside tanned until you can't...
You try it, mister.
Don't tempt me.
You touch me. Just you touch me. You just wait. I'm gonna fix you for this if it's the last thing I do. When Billy Joe hears about this, you just wait. And I'm gonna tell you something else. I don't want you to be my lawyer anymore. I'd rather rot in jail. I'd just as soon hang you.
Well, I guess I can't take you to Stockton in that condition.
Why not?
Well, you might catch pneumonia.
And die? Well, that just might save us all a lot of trouble.
And cheat me out of winning this case? Don't you dare. Now you go on and get in the house and change your clothes for dinner.
Hope we're having some more of that smoked ham.
Hey, Billy, what happens when we get finished riding all this way and bust her out of jail and then find out she's changed her mind?
Maybe got herself another beau.
Well, that's a right smart question. Right smart.
Ain't no need to get riled, Billy. Hayes and me is just having some fun.
That's all.
I'm Maybelle's man. That's the way it's been, and that's the way it's gonna be.
Well, sure, Billy. Why, she took up with some other guy. or she'd change her mind back to you real quick.
Yeah. Or I might just kill that new beau of hers and change her mind for her.
Jared, do you think this is the right place for the mistletoe?
Well, why not? You hang it there every year. Well, ladies, I think that looks just fine.
That's pretty. Maybe you finish it. I have a million other things to do.
Do you really like it? I'm not too good at this. I never messed with Christmas trees before.
Well, I think it could use something hanging right there.
Is this okay?
Oh, here, be careful.
One thing I can say for myself, I sure can be clumsy. Thank you kindly.
Oh, that's fine, Silas. Thank you. I'll get it.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
Barkley.
Christmas. Come in. Come in. Have I lost a day somewhere?
No, we're riding up tomorrow to visit Bob and Cynthia and the grandchildren. So we brought the presents by today.
Oh, well, come into the study. Yours are in there.
Jared?
Meg. Well, well, well. Merry Christmas.
Guess what I got for you?
Oh, no, you don't. I never step into the same trap twice.
What trap?
Well, it seems to me I fell for that last year. Once you tell me what you got me, then I have to tell you what I got you, right?
Now, Jared, I never could wait for surprises.
Well, I'm afraid you'll just have to wait until Christmas because that's the rule of the game. Come on over here. I want you to meet our house guest. Meg Travis, this is Maybelle Williams.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Well, that certainly is a beautiful Christmas tree.
Thanks to Maybelle.
Meg, without any further ado, we better be on our way. We still have a lot of visiting to do. Jared.
Ah, yes. With pleasure.
It's Christmas.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Merry Christmas, Mother.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, darling.
Oh, Heath, you shouldn't have.
Exactly what I said when they told me the price.
Well, bless you, Brother Nick. Now you can just keep the one you borrowed from me.
Bless you, Brother Jared, for this nice saddle. Now you can just return the saddle you borrowed from me.
Well, thank you, Jared.
You're welcome, Heath. Just don't shoot it off in the house.
Thank you, all of you. I'm gonna be the best smelling woman in prison.
Jared, it's lovely.
That's the most beautiful dress I've ever seen.
Unhand that young lady. Now, isn't that just like a woman getting all set to borrow it before Maybelle has even had a chance to try it on?
For me? But what would I be needing a dress like this for? I mean, what a dumb idea. You know, for a lawyer, you're not very smart. I better find myself another lawyer. Or I'm gonna end up spending the rest of my life in jail.
What'd you find out?
A lawyer, name of Barkley, got her out on bail. Got her out of his ranch right now. Just a few miles out of town.
Well, now, that's right nice of him. Saves us the trouble of breaking her out of jail.
Oh, howdy, don't they look pretty?
Is that a question?
It's a fact.
Wish all your friends a very Merry Christmas for me.
All right, come on, let's go.
And have a good time.
Bye, Mother. Where's Mabel?
Here I am. Do I look all right?
I think you look lovely.
So do I, and so will everybody else.
Thank you. Aren't you coming with us?
No, I'll entrust you and Mother with my season's greetings for everybody. I have some work to do.
I'll be out in a minute, Mabel. Jared, I think she's falling in love with you.
Well, maybe. You know, you help them out or you try their case for them, and suddenly you're father, minister, and lover all rolled into one. I've run into it before, and with women more mature than Mabel.
But in this particular case, it doesn't worry you.
In this particular case, the only thing that worries me is that if I get her free, will it be a worthwhile freedom, or will it be a license for her to run back to Billy Joe Gaines?
Wait here for me. Yes? Looking for Maybelle Williams?
Miss Maybelle?
Yeah, she's my sister. Get her.
I'm sorry, she's out visiting with the rest of the family.
Where out visiting?
If you care to wait, I'll call Mr. Barkley.
Silas, who is it?
Name's Billy Joe Gaines.
You know, Billy, I'd always heard you were a pretty smart kid, but coming here was a pretty dumb thing to do.
Just shut up and tell me where she is.
Gladly. As a matter of fact, I'll do better than that. I'll draw you a map. Now, let's see, Silas. There must be what? About 3 ranches within a radius of 50 miles where she might be?
That's right, Mr. Barkley.
And then again, there are at least a dozen homes right outside of Stockton. She might be in any one of those.
All right, Mr. Lawyer, sir. When does she get back?
Whenever they get through visiting, I imagine. Unless, of course, it gets too late and they decide to stay the night.
All right. Why don't we just take it easy and wait till she gets back?
How many lawmen do you figure are out looking for you, Billy?
On Christmas Day? Probably all shoving turkey into their fat faces.
Possibly. But then again, wouldn't you be a lot safer heading up country? Or maybe south to the border?
I didn't get where I am playing it safe, mister.
And where are you, Billy? A $5,000 reward on your head and 2 steps ahead of a posse in a rope.
Well, that's 1 step more than I need, counselor. How is Maybelle? She talk much about me?
She's mentioned you?
Yeah, bet she did. I've done a lot of thinking about her, too.
You know, Billy, if you really thought anything about her, you'd clear out of here right now without her.
And let her go to jail?
Let her stand trial. She has a chance that way. She doesn't with you.
She's been waiting for me.
Maybe she was waiting for you, but not anymore. All she's waiting for now is a chance to stand trial and be cleared.
You seem pretty sure of yourself, counselor. Pretty sure of my girl.
You think I'm wrong, huh? Well, why don't we let the lady make a choice?
Well, you better pray I don't do that, counselor. Because if you mixed her up so bad she decided to stay, I'll kill you.
Corey, Hayes.
Well, look at our Miss Maybelle. Billy Joe's waiting on you in the house.
Better not take any chances, please, Mrs. Barkley.
That's real good advice. Go get Billy Joe. Hope you don't mind waiting a spell, ma'am.
She's waiting, Billy.
Goodbye, lawyer. You try to stop us or follow us, I'll kill you.
Silas, get my gun.
All right, get going. Hey, I said I'd come for you. I keep my promises. Hey, that's a fancy dress you got on there.
It's all right.
Well, it's a good thing they treat my girl kindly. Come on, let's ride.
She's with Billy Joe and 2 others. They went toward the North Ridge.
right, hold it right there. Keep those hands nice and clear.
Lawyer, I told you not to come after us.
Well, now, I didn't find that particularly good advice. Drop those gun belts.
No.
Now, I'm going to ask you just one time. Drop those belts and turn around.
You start shooting and you're not gonna hit all three of us. You ain't that good.
That may be. But the first one will be right between your eyes, Billy boy.
Like I said, you ain't that good, lawyer.
Maybelle, you ride out of there.
Go on, Billy Joe, run!
Maybelle, get out of there!
I told you from the first, lawyer man. All I wanted was for Billy Joe to come get me. Not you, your family, or any of your fancy Christmas stuff could make me want different.
Like you said, lawyer, let the lady make her choice.
Your cigars, sir.
I hate to say I told you so.
Go ahead, Judge. Say it. Say it all you want. Lord knows I've said it to myself enough.
Jared, I've been a lawman for better than 40 years. Sheriff, marshal, prosecuting attorney, now judge. I've seen 1,000 Billy Joes, 100 Maybelles. And when I was younger, I tried to give them all a chance. Spoon-feed them on the milk of human kindness. Turn them into respectable citizens. But I learned my lesson, just like you've learned yours. So the next time you find yourself wanting to...
Maybelle! What happened?
Well, I knew that even Billy Joe had to go to sleep sometime, so I just waited for my chance, and here I am. All right, what do I do now? Just tell the sheriff I've come back?
No, you come with me. There's a man who thinks he's met you 100 times. I'd just like to see the expression on his face when he meets you for the first time.
Did I do good, Daddy?
You done real good. That's the way I like it. Not even a drop of blood on the shirt.
Just as easy as shooting that steer.
Daddy, can I have a shirt?
No, the women get the shirt.
Can I have his pants?
Brother Copper gets the pants.
What about the iron?
The shooting iron's mine.
Daddy, I ought to at least get the boots.
More size for Cousin Cleek. You can have his saddle.
I ain't never rode a horse with no saddle on it. Besides, Copper shan't get pants. This feller can't even need.
Cost 2 cents for you to pull that trigger. Break that rifle butt and you spend the next 6 months whittling another one.
Well, how am I supposed to finish him off?
You don't. Why, he must have more than 500 cows listed here. Woo-wee. Man, with that number of cows, it might just be worth more alive than dead. You know how we was gonna head up north, find us some gold?
And pick it up and sell it for a lot of money?
We just might have found it here.
Where?
Here. Add a little more suet to that concoction, cousin.
Where'd you get him?
That poor fella? Well, he fell amongst thieves, and we happened along the trail just in time to save him.
I heard some shooting.
Oh, well, Brother Copper here was quick enough of mine to get a shot off at him, and, they sure sent them robbers off to making footprints.
Footprints? Didn't them robbers have no horses?
Yeah.
No. Allie Kay, you go look after that poor fella.
Black spots in his eyes ain't too big. Ain't too little neither. Lost some hide alongside his head, but ain't dented in much. He ain't sneezing, that's a good sign. But if he starts breathing bubbly, we're gonna lose him. Pinto, get me hot water, lots of it.
Pinto, do like she said. We can't have this young fella dying off on us.
Just like them rich folks to pull a trick like that on us.
Oh, now, Brother Copper, rich folks ain't all bad. They're just all rich. An affliction which ain't attacked us recent. But there just might be a plague of it coming on. You take this rich man here for an instant. His family is going to be so happy to get him back, they just might offer us some nice reward for being good Samaritans. Like maybe some money. Now listen to me, everybody. We're going to be the nicest, gentlest, humblest folks they ever met in their born days. Cousin Cleek, you get that wheel back on the wagon.
Ain't gonna take us very far.
It'll take us far enough.
Danny, how we gonna find his house?
We'll swat his horse on the rump and follow it.
Mr. Barkley, Mr. Johnson wants to see you about something. He's out by the barn.
Thank you. I can't find anything wrong with him.
Neither could I. Yet I know one thing. This horse could never throw Mr. Heath.
Maybe he's with Audra.
No, ma'am. She rode to town for the mail, so I figured I'd...
Now, you stay off horses for another week like the doctor said. Saddle mine and... Rawhide it.
Happy day, good lady.
How do you do?
We'd appreciate some information if you feel so kindly.
If I have it.
Well, traveling down country, we run across some poor fella done fell in among thieves, and we just couldn't leave him there. Did you lose anybody?
Where is he?
He's in the wagon, ma'am. Allow me to point the way.
Heath.
And he is yours.
He's my son. Would you help me get him inside, please?
Vino, copper.
How bad is it?
A kind of ornery crease, ma'am. He must have surprised some rustlers butchering a cow, and they shot him. We just happened up in time to scare him away. Oh, poor fellow.
Well, I appreciate your help, Mr.
Cade is the name, ma'am. John Wesley Cade, but everybody calls me Daddy.
Well, thank you very much, Mr.
Ain't there any other men about to help? We'd hate to mess up your carpets.
Our men are out on roundup. Oh, but they'll be back shortly.
Now, this here is Allie Kay. He's right fair with herbs and roots. Kept him alive so far. She'd be happy to help with the tendon.
Thank you. Please be careful. Follow me.
You hear the lady? Ain't no other men around.
They'll be back shortly.
How long is shortly?
We'll use the back stairs. It's quicker. Be careful.
Anything I can do, good lady?
If I need any help, I'll call you.
Thank you, ma'am. Man, oh, man. Big house like this might even get a bigger reward than we first thought. You ought to see at least $1,000. Little lady ought to be that grateful.
Well, what if she ain't?
An interesting thing, though. Ain't no men around, except for a servant and a wrangler with only one good arm.
Real interesting.
If we could only find out when the other men are coming back. We need 2 days to get out of the area. I never been in a house like this before. I bet you it's just chock full of all kinds of Jim dandies.
That lady sure cuts a fine figure of a woman.
Oh, quality. I've always had a hankering for quality. Just never had a chance to indulge it.
Might get that chance.
No. Quality ain't like some creek squaw you catch all alone out in the brush. You gotta handle it different.
If you need me, ma'am, I'll be down at the corral.
Thank you.
Ma'am, how's that poor fellow?
He'll be all right. I want to thank you again for your help.
Well, just knowing we've been a help is thanks enough.
Please accept this as a token of my appreciation.
Huh? Oh, no, ma'am. We didn't do this for no reward. We just wanted to help that poor fellow. Well, thank you, ma'am.
Well, I guess because of the delay, you'll be wanting to get back on the trail again.
Well, actual, ma'am, this was supposed to be our day of rest. And our wagon has a wheel close to collapsing. So,
Well, you may spend the night in the barn. You'll find a spare wagon wheel there. Help yourself.
Good lady. You're a flat-out saint. Hey, $100 in a wagon wheel. Shh. That's a sorry reward for saving her son's life. Let's go look at our new home and get on that wagon wheel.
Mother? Mother? Mother?
Yes, dear.
Did you hear the rawhairs on back of the house?
Yes, I know. Heath has been hurt. They brought him in. I told them they could spend the night in the barn.
Heath hurt? What happened?
He has a scalp wound. They said he was shot by rustlers. I don't think he's in any immediate danger, but he's still unconscious. I want you to ride back to town and bring out Dr. Murat.
I'm on my way. Oh. There wasn't a mail, but there's a telegram from the boys.
From Mr. Nick? I hope it says he's coming back tonight.
Herd brought, good price. Men need rest. Jared wants us to spend the rest of the week in San Francisco. Home on the 17th. Heath can handle things. Love, Nick and Eugene.
Well?
Tackling's got 18 wall arms, and saddles is on 3 of them.
And there's 18 beds in the bunkhouse, and the blankets is gone off and all but one of them.
It all adds up to everybody being gone. Except for the people in the house and the wrangler with a broke arm.
If there's only some way of knowing when these are coming back.
Well, the quality lady said they'd be back shortly.
Looks like we're gonna have to settle for $100 in the wagon wheel.
We ain't ready to give up yet. So that's where that little yellow-haired gal kited off to. Get a doctor, I bet you. I best go up there and see how that poor fellow's coming along.
Lupe. Tu estás aquí?
It's all right, it's all right. Now, you just be quiet.
Acuéstate cerca de mí. Quiero abrazarte. Dame un besito.
Oh, Mr. Heath, you better not do that. You just lay back down and rest now.
No sign of consciousness?
None, and he doesn't have a fever. His breathing seems regular.
Howdy.
Hello. Put that bandage on.
I did.
It's filthy.
Well, it may look that way, but I boiled it before I put it on.
Any sign of his coughing?
No coughing or breathing bubbly.
Good. There's no internal bleeding. Probably suffered a contusion is all, no skull fracture. What's this poultice?
Clover Wharton mare's tail. I cleaned it up with soap and whiskey.
You might have done worse.
I know that. I'm a healer, too.
Are you? Order some hot water, please. Has he shown any sign of coming around?
Well, in a way. A little while ago, he was talking in Spanish. I don't know what he said. I don't think he knows neither.
We'll just wash him up. Take a better look.
Can I help you?
We're just wondering how that poor fellow's doing.
I'm sure he's doing fine, thank you.
Best go up and see for myself.
Condition is serious, but not critical. Be strong, young man. Just see that he stays in bed. You know, Victoria, if they were rustlers, they were pretty desperate or stupid. Think they'd get away with something like that in broad daylight?
Well, now, how is that poor fella?
Who's this?
This is Mr.
Cade's the name, but everybody calls me Daddy. It was us what saved him.
Well, Victoria, I'm going to have to go on down to Mrs. Henderson. They're begetting again. Real begetters. But I'll stop in on my way back this evening about 6 o'clock.
I'll have some dinner for you.
Oh, no thanks.
Oh, if you excuse me, I'd like to talk to Mrs. Barkley and Audra. Alone?
Oh. Oh, sure. We'll wait outside the door.
These people are rawhiders. Did it ever occur to you that they might have shot Heath themselves?
I thought of that possibility, but it doesn't seem likely they'd shoot him and then bring him here.
Well, maybe you're right. Oh, that girl seems like a good nurse, but clean her up a little bit. Make her a little more sanitary. Well, I'll stop in on my way this evening. Well, never mind, Victoria. I know the way out.
Thanks, Howard.
I'll walk you down, Doc.
You've been on the trail a long time. Perhaps you'd like to freshen up.
Freshen up?
Take a bath?
Oh, surely.
And I have a dress that might be more comfortable.
Dress?
Mm-hmm.
You mean I could actually try it on?
You may keep it if you like.
Oh, I ain't never had a dress before. I guess I better go down to the creek and flake off a few inches of prairie dust.
You won't have to go to the creek. The bathtub is right here in the house.
I thank you, Doc. I said, thank you, Doc.
Good day.
Never took a real down-to-earth bath before. Daddy did, that one time. He used to talk about it around the campfire.
Your father must have led an interesting life.
Well, Daddy ain't my father. My folks was killed by Indians when I was about 4 or 5. These people just picked me up. Guess they couldn't find no place to leave me. I sure am tired of living like a rattlesnake. Run for shade when it's hot and hit for sunshine when it's cold. I was gonna leave several times. But leave to where? I mean, what can I do? Daddy can do sums and read some, but he won't teach no one else how to. Daddy thinks I'm gonna marry Pinto. Well, the day before I do that, I'm gonna take me a horseshoe knife and... Daddy says he took his bath in a real gold bathtub. Bet it wasn't nice as this. Daddy lies a lot.
Silas! Silas!
Yes, Miss Barkley?
Do you remember if I left Nick's telegram here on the table?
Yes, ma'am. You left it right there on the table. And I didn't take it.
Oh, well, then I must have moved it someplace else without thinking.
No, ma'am. They took it. They know the men are not getting back tonight, don't they?
Look at here. This was sent from San Francisco on the 10th. It was yesterday. There ain't gonna be no men around here for the rest of the week.
Ooh, in that time, we can loot this place and get clean to Canada.
Not so fast, my fine feathered jackass. I happen to know that the doctor is gonna be back here around 6 o'clock. He's probably gonna keep a close look in on that poor fellow for a while.
Let's just kill him.
You don't kill no doctor. People miss him too quick, and they keep asking after him. No, they'd be on our trail in a minute.
Daddy's right.
No, we just gotta wait until he spreads his visits out of mind. Now, we gotta have at least 2 days for a getaway. They can track us over this soft ground, but we get up north in shale and limestone country, no wagon tracks. But, meanwhile, ain't no reason why we shouldn't enjoy the quality of this here place. No, we just gotta move slow like.
Who are you?
Allie Kay.
How'd I get here?
Somebody creased you with a bullet when we brung you in.
When did all this happen?
About 5 or 6 hours ago. Who's Loopy?
You know her? Why'd you ask?
You was talking about her.
What'd they say?
What do you think you said?
Well, there's a lot of things I hope I didn't say.
Now, you're supposed to stay in bed.
I gotta finish telling those cows and...
Allie Kay, why don't you go get some rest? I'll sit with him.
He might need some tending.
Well, I'll call if there's any need.
Thank you.
You come any closer, your scalp's gonna be separated from your head!
Here. Now, what set this off?
It ain't fair, Daddy. It ain't fair.
We all gotta be a mite patient. Before long, we'll all get new clothes, but we gotta go slow with quality. Now, you're supposed to be up there with that young fella. You come down here just to kick up a fuss?
No, Daddy. I just came down to tell you I overheard Miss Barkley tell Silas to go get the eggs.
Oh.
No eggs? Well, there should be 4 or 5 dozen.
Miss Barkley, those hen nests are as naked as jaybirds.
Well, they just didn't hatch and fly away.
Good lady, we seen you were short-handed, so we collected the eggs for you. As long as you're so hospitable, least we could do is a few chores.
Thank you.
I'll be happy to have the boys slot the hogs for you. If you provide the slots, we just don't have none left over.
Mr. Johnson can take care of the
Oh,
hogs.
fine. Will you just let me know anything you want done around here, because I'm a plumb one-eyed jack.
Silas, put a dozen eggs in the kitchen and bring the rest back.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh. Lovely and generous. Hey. That's a fine iron. Never seen the likes of that. Oh. Hate to mention it, ma'am, but your kind generosity caused me a mite of embarrassment.
How?
Oh, remember that dress you give to Allie Kay? Well, the other woman got plumb jealous, and I was just wondering if you had something else around here that was, well, raggedy but pretty. It might even things up a bit, you know.
Oh, I'm sure I can find something.
Ain't hardly seen Alec Case since we got here. Spends all her time up in the room with that feller. I know what's going on.
Quality like him ain't like to take to Allie K.
Shined up, she looks right fair. I'll bet that feller tain't sick at all. Jess up there hanky-panking my fiancé. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna kill him now.
After you do, you best reload and blow your brains out, because if you don't, I will. I gotta think me up a plan. Ain't nobody gonna mess it up? Allie Kay ever tell you she was gonna marry you?
No. You mean you got your eye on her?
No, I'm too old to start educating a child. I need me a woman of quality. Money.
Hey, Daddy.
What?
That doctor just rode back in.
That's so. That means all the folks will be upstairs for a spell. It'll give you all a chance to see what you can find in the house. I'll warn you when your time is up.
I thought that might rouse you. How's the feather?
Oh, boy, how'd he get that thing away?
I'm just doing what's good for you.
Allie Kay, the doctor's here.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome back.
Well, it was a trip I could have done without.
How do you feel?
It was fine until I woke up.
Hi, Doc. How are you?
I'm good. You looking better?
Thanks, but my head feels like it's about to fall off.
Did you notice any bleeding from his ears or nose?
No.
How about you? You remember anything that happened?
Last thing I remember is eating breakfast.
That's not unusual. Well, your heart check's out all right, but I'll tell you one thing, Heath. You're going to have a bad headache for several days. And there may be lapses of consciousness, so don't leave this bed. We'll see that he gets plenty of liquids. Oh, Victoria, when I was here last, did I leave my watch?
No, I didn't see it.
Yes, I was sure I had it here, but when I got to the Hendersons, it was gone.
Well, I'll be doggone. This must be your watch, Doc. I found a line on the ground outside. Probably fell out of your pocket whilst crawling into your rig, huh?
Thanks.
Always happy to oblige. Well, how are you, young fella? I'm the one found you and brung you in.
Thank you.
Well, no need for me to hang around. I'll be back the end of the week. Just change his bandages every day and let him have a lot of peace and quiet.
I'll be glad to walk the doctor down for you, ma'am.
That won't be necessary.
No, no trouble at all.
Well, Victoria, the worst part is over. So just see that he gets plenty of rest and quiet.
All right, I'll see to it. And thank you very much, Howard, for coming out again.
That's right, Doc. We flat out appreciate it.
Like I said, plenty of rest and quiet. Good evening.
If you'll excuse me, Mr.
Daddy. Call me Daddy like everybody else.
If you'll excuse me, I have to get dinner.
I can have Cousin Ruthina fix your fiddles for you. There's no reason for a quality woman to be bothering about cooking.
It's no bother. I enjoy it.
Well, you just might like what Cousin Ruthina can conjure up.
If there is one thing I do not enjoy, it's having anybody in the kitchen while I'm preparing a meal.
Oh. Well, good lady, I guess we done kind of took advantage of your hospitality. We were just so happy about that poor fella up there getting better. We'll be leaving first thing in the morning, and if you ain't awake, thanks for everything.
Would you like something to eat?
Maybe some water.
cartridge-bearing rifle. Did you get them all?
Well, all I seen. They's all hung in them cabinets in that room with the wood wall.
Yeah.
I didn't have time to check every nook and cranny.
Hey, Daddy! Look what tall I found.
Quality, Daddy. Real quality.
Well, I bet they got more.
Oh, this here's enough for tonight.
Beats that pot whiskey, don't it, Daddy?
Sure do, Pino boy.
I reckon Mrs. Barkley must have left the Winchester here by mistake.
One thing I can't stand is a nosy wrangler with a broke arm. Oh, looks like we don't dilly-dally around no more. We're gonna have to kill off all them folks tonight.
Did you make that stuff or scoop it off an alkali pond?
I guess you'd rather have tamales and chili.
We have to keep getting back to that.
Well, you sure talk soft when you thought I was that loopy. You act a whole lot different, too.
Well, I never told anyone I spent my life alone in a cave. Now, what are you driving at?
You just won't understand, will you?
I understand one thing. You saved my life out there.
One nothing.
Quite a bit to me. When I get the chance, I mean to find the proper way to thank you.
I don't know why you're having us cover him up if we're leaving here tonight anyway.
Well, I changed my mind. We're gonna take off first crack at dawn unless something come along to change our plans. I always was born to live good. Jack my heels up on a fine cherry wood table, read part of a good book. And if I don't like it, I tear it up. Yeah. I ought to have me some fine, soft clothes. And if they don't fit me, I just tear them off. Ain't never had a chance to do that before. Now, Doc won't be back for a couple of days. Men won't be back for a week. Oh, I'm gonna set myself down on fine swans down sofa cushion, drink good liquor, smoke me a big cigar, and when that pretty quality lady comes down, her eyes flashing, I'm gonna have a surprise for her.
You gonna shoot her?
No, I'm gonna pop her the question.
Ooh, Daddy, she gonna spit right in your face.
Then I'll shoot her. Let's go.
Mr. Heath?
What's going on? What's happening? What are they up to? You gonna tell me?
It was Daddy and Pino and Copper that shot you. There wasn't no other bushwhackers.
Do you realize what you're saying?
I growed up with them, but I ain't like they are. You just gotta believe me.
Then will you help me?
Just tell me what to do.
Find out what they're up to.
Be quiet. We don't want to wake up the whole house.
You see, Pino, you see? And you was worried about Allie Kay. Well,
Daddy, where'd you get all the fire irons?
took 'em.
We got us some fancy hand irons to boot out there in that barn.
And that's not all we're gonna took before this night's out.
They're gonna catch you before you got a chance to breathe twice.
Nobody's gonna catch us. There won't be nobody left to put on a chase. First, I gotta have a talk with that quality lady.
Well, I better be going.
Going?
That fella upstairs, he finished his broth and he wanted me to get him some cold milk. Ayo!
You ain't never brung me no cold meal.
You keep that voice down.
Let's get him. If he's up to taking food, he could be dangerous.
No, he's still fuzzy.
Are you sure?
He ain't barely got enough strength to set up.
Good.
Well, I better hurry.
Allie Kay.
He's gonna get suspicious if I don't show back up.
Oh. Allie Kay?
Oh. Hello, Pinto.
You ain't gone spoony on that feller up there, have you?
Of course not.
Ours a cold milk.
Oh, milk? Well, it was curdled. I best be getting back up there before he wonders what's keeping me.
Thank you, Allie Kay.
Daddy, there ain't no pictures in these books.
Yeah.
This is the way you repay my hospitality?
Oh, I'm sorry about the mess, ma'am. Good lady, sit down. I've been wanting to talk to you.
I'd be very interested in what you have to say.
Ever since I seen you, you leapt on my eyes like a veritable angel. Now, I ain't a bad figure of man. I've been a widower nigh on to 3 whole months. It's starting to crimp me. You're a widow. How's about you and me getting wed up?
You could do a lot worse.
I'd have to think that over. Would you excuse me, please? I'd like to speak to my daughter privately.
Oh, of course, ma'am.
I was afraid of this. One of them has on Johnson's shirt. We'll get Heath and get out of here.
Dad! Hey! Where you going?
Were you serious when you asked me to marry you?
Well, I sure was, ma'am.
Well, then I'm going upstairs to change. After all, a lady can't accept a proposal dressed like this, can she?
Yeah! Man of money! Ain't there's gonna be a wedding? Come on up here, no copper. All of you, let's clean this place up now.
She's all right.
We think they killed Johnson.
They plan to kill all of us. Now, where's Silas?
In his room. I'll get him.
Get to the barn, and I'll cover you from the window and meet you later.
All right.
Cousin Cleek, get that sofa up right there. Hey, Pino, pick up a chair. Hey, you put that sausage back where you find it. Now, go on. Come on, Ruthina. Fix up them flowers. Now, we gotta red up this room nice for the wedding.
Miss Barkley, I'm so glad to see you. You know what?
Yes, I know all about it. Hurry up.
Danny, looks like your bride's eloping without you. Just seen her scoot out the kitchen door.
Wally, underhanded. All right, Pinto, you can take that fella now. Copper, you get the serving man. Cousin Cleek, you come with me. Quality lady. I know you're in here.
Hey, Pinto, I couldn't find that servant fella anywhere.
Guess I ought to put this poor fella out of his miseries permanent.
Well, I guess I'm ready.
You look lovely.
Thank you. And thank you for the clothes and things you give me.
No, we thank you.
More than you know, dear.
Yeah, let me take these. Gene, follow me. And be careful, don't bump into this young fella here. He's in a delicate condition. Eugene. Give him a hand.
Doc says the people I'm going to nurse don't live far from here.
Yeah, it's on the way to town.
Wish it wasn't.
Why?
Well, if you're going to come and see me, I'd like you to have to go out of your way.
Well, I'll come to see you even if I don't have to go to town.